With us to discuss the story further is Mr. Doug Firby, an award-winning veteran journalist and newspaper manager based in Calgary, Alberta. He is also a contributor to the C2C Journal, where he wrote an article on the situation called Out into the Cold, British Columbia's Wanton Destruction of Fur Farming. Mr. Firby, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you, Nina.
So let's start with your recent article, sir. Can you share some of your findings with our viewers?
Well, as you said in your summary, COVID-19 was discovered on 3 BC farms, and about 12 people who worked on those farms tested positive. In total, there are about 9 mink farms in BC, and they're all located in the Fraser Valley. And now, with this discovery, the BC government jumped to the conclusion that there was a cause and effect relationship, and they've banned mink farming there. The farmers have until early 2023 to get rid of their animals, but they say this immediate ban on breeding mink mean that they're effectively out of business now. The situation's even worse for them because the government has not made any concrete offers of compensation for their lost business, so they are literally out in the cold.
And what kind of reasons did the BC government give for closing the industry and not providing this compensation, sir?
Well, BC's Minister of Agriculture, Lana Popham, and Dr. Bonnie Henry, the Medical Officer of Health, jointly held the news conference where they announced the ban. They insisted, under questioning from reporters, that this action was solely taken out of concern for public health. Unfortunately, the mink ranchers don't believe them because they know that the minister has really been gunning for that industry for a number of years, including back when she was in the opposition ranks. The minister and the medical officer argued that there was too great a risk that the virus would be transmitted back and forth between humans and mink. This has not been substantiated by any reliable scientific research.
And how does this approach compare with other mink-producing jurisdictions in Canada?
Well, the mink industry is pretty diverse across the country. I think that most of the mink farming goes on in Nova Scotia, with some in Ontario and Quebec, and some in some of the other provinces as well. Big provinces like Ontario have been kind of taking a wait-and-see approach. They haven't really said what they intend to do, but in Nova Scotia, the government has been extremely supportive of the mink industry and has reached out to the ranchers, providing expertise, removing some red tape, and even providing some financial assistance to help them get through this tough time. So it's really quite the polar opposite of what you're seeing in British Columbia.
And we know Denmark also experienced a similar situation. So they destroyed their entire mink herd after these mink tested positive for COVID-19. So what are the similarities and differences to the situation in BC?
Sadly, it's a little bit too similar. The Denmark situation was a social, political, and economic disaster. 17 million mink, that's their entire industry in Denmark, was destroyed. Animals were slaughtered and buried. However, the government did such a poor job that the decomposing mink actually rose to the surface as their bodies decomposed. They were called zombie mink, and it created tremendous public outrage. Further investigation revealed that their fears that the mink could spread COVID back to humans had no scientific support, and to this day has no scientific support. And in fact, the order to destroy the animals was illegal. The agriculture minister in Denmark had to resign. The prime minister in Denmark later apologized for the actions that they took. We are not seeing a similar response in British Columbia. The government in British Columbia is not backing down, even though we have more recent research that continues to suggest that the mink do not pose any risk to humans.
All right, Mr. Doug Firby, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
Great talking to you.